In the Darkhold, a chamber among the caverns inside the mountain, Chton wrote the Darkhold, his book of black magic. In ancient times, Wundagore was a mountain within a grim and mountainous realm set south of the borderlands. There, a Skrull trapped on Earth lived and set up an altar to Sigurd. He terrorized the people living around the mountain and was known to be a sorcerer god from beyond the stars. Taking the form of a merchant, he told Bloodstone about that star-spawned sorcerer, intending to lure him in his lair, slay him, and take the blood gem for his own. Bloodstone found the sorcerer's lair on Wundagore, and after the brutal destruction of the sorcerer's animated corpses, the plot was revealed by the Skrull, beheaded moments later by Bloodstone. In the 6th century AD, the sorceress Morgan Le Fay and her cult of Darkholders, unable to control Chton, whom they had summoned, imprisoned him within Wundagore Mountain in Transia. Chton's evil entered into the clay and wood of Wundagore, and could be used as a sort of sympathetic magic by forming images of people used to manipulate said people from a distance. Later, those clay and wood would be respectively used by the Puppet Master and by Wundagore Maximoff. By the 20th century, Wundagore Mountain was part of the estate owned by Gregory Russoff, the father of Jack Russell, who sold part of his estate, including Wundagore Mountain, to the High Evolutionary and his partner Jonathan Drew, the father of Jessica Drew, who became the first Spider-Woman. On the mountain, Jonathan Drew and Wyndham discovered a rich deposit of uranium and used the wealth they gained from it to build a citadel of advanced scientific research. In 1928, Wyndham used subterranean slaves, Moloids, to build the Citadel of Science at Wundagore. Since the 1930s, Wyndham began to procure both domestic and wild animals and genetically accelerated them into new men, animals with humanoid posture and intelligence. Among the first of his new men were Bova, a cowwoman, Porga, a pigman, and Tagar, a tiger man. The spirit of the 6th century sorcerer Magnus, a disciple of Morgan Le Fay and among those who had imprisoned Chton within Wundagore Mountain, took possession of the body of Jonathan Drew in order to warn the High Evolutionary of the demonic threat beneath his feet. Magnus and the High Evolutionary decided that the new men should be trained to combat Chton's impending attack, and Magnus suggested they be organized and trained along the lines of the highly disciplined soldiers of his day, the Arthurian Knights of the Round Table. Magnus supervised the training of the new men who became the Knights of Wundagore and instilled in them a sense of chivalry. When Chton finally attacked through his host, the other, he was defeated by the combination of the High Evolutionary's advanced science, Magnus' sorcery, and the battle prowess of the Knights of Wundagore. On the very night of this battle, a woman named Magda, who had sought refuge at the High Evolutionary Citadel, reportedly gave birth there to twins, who later became known as Quicksilver and the Scarlet Witch. Chton imbued the newborn infant who would become the Scarlet Witch with latent potential for using magic. After their victory over Chton, the Knights of Wundagore undertook the full-time task of patrolling and protecting Wundagore. The High Evolutionary had equipped the Knights before their battle with Chton with suits of armor that are extraordinarily resistant to damage, advanced weaponry, and nuclear-powered one-man flying craft known as the Atomic Steeds. Eventually, the High Evolutionary created a new man who proved to be a menace, the Man-Beast, whom he had evolved from a wolf. After the Asgardian thunder god, Thor, aided in defeating the Man-Beast, the High Evolutionary decided that Earth was too confining an environment for his new men. Having converted his citadel into a starship, the High Evolutionary set forth within it, along with his new men, for the stars to seek a planet for them to settle. Man-Beast later created new men of his own to terrorize the world called Counter-Earth. The High Evolutionary's ally, Adam Warlock, eventually devolved all of these new men back to their original forms. However, the Man-Beast himself has subsequently returned in his semi-human form, and his present whereabouts, activities, and condition are unknown.